In a corner of a ruined city, where crime and indifference creep into every street, a lonely clown, carrying a strange disease, uncontrollable laughter, still stands there every day, searching for someone's gaze among the crowd of strangers. He endures a life of poverty and ridicule. Arthur is one of the many unfortunate souls. He stands on the street, wearing a bright smile, hoping to earn a few coins for his elderly mother. But a group of delinquents steals his advertising sign. He chases them into an alley, only to be beaten, and the sign shattered. Every day after work, he visits a social service center to receive medication for his illness. The counselor flips through his journal, filled with thoughts and jokes. Arthur dreams of becoming a famous stand-up comedian, but there's nothing funny in his notebook, except for one haunting line. "I just hope my death makes more sense than my life." Despite the medication, his condition worsens. On the bus home, Arthur tries to make a boy laugh, but the boy's mother becomes annoyed. Suddenly, his illness kicks in. He laughs uncontrollably. Even when people know he's sick, they still keep their distance. Enduring emotional pain, he returns to his rundown apartment where he lives with his mother, Penny. She constantly asks if Thomas Wayne has written back. She once worked for the Wayne family and believes Thomas, now a mayoral candidate, will help them. Though she writes him letters, there's never a reply. After feeding his mother, Arthur joins her in watching a comedy show. He imagines himself as a guest, being embraced and encouraged by the host, but in reality, he's just a lonely man chasing impossible dreams. The next day, battered and bruised, he goes to work. A coworker, feeling sympathetic, gives him a gun for protection. Later, his boss scolds him for skipping work and losing the sign, refuses to listen to explanations, and deducts the cost from his paycheck. Frustrated, Arthur vents his anger on the trash cans. On the elevator, he meets Sophie and her daughter. One of the few people to smile at him, he performs a little act for them, then returns home. There, he dances joyfully, imagining a better life. But during rehearsal, he accidentally fires the gun. Luckily, no one is hurt. Perhaps love has entered the life of this lonely clown. The next day, he follows Sophie and her daughter. He learns where she works. That evening, he visits a comedy club to observe other performers. He records their techniques and copies their jokes into his notebook. "The worst part of having a mental illness," he writes, "is people expect you to behave as if you don't." That night, Sophie visits his apartment. Instead of being upset, she finds him funny. Arthur seizes the chance to invite her to his upcoming stand-up show. Now filled with hope, he performs for sick children at a hospital. But his gun falls from his pants. He lies, calling it a prop. The co-worker who gave him the gun betrays him, and Arthur is fired. His world spirals further into despair. On the subway home, he sees a woman being harassed by 3 drunk men. She looks to him for help. Arthur's laughter distracts the men, giving her a chance to escape. They then turn their attention to Arthur. His illness surfaces again, enraging them more. This time, Arthur fights back. He shoots and kills 2 of them on the train. The third tries to flee, but Arthur pursues and executes him on a stairway. Horrified yet exhilarated, Arthur hides in a restroom. There, he dances alone. For the first time, he feels free. News of the subway murders spreads fast. Thomas Wayne speaks out, blaming the violent act on the resentment of the poor. Arthur, watching him on TV, smirks, believing that even villains may speak truths. Back at the clinic, Arthur learns funding has been cut. He won't receive medication anymore. But things take a surprising turn. He gets a gig at a comedy club. As he takes the stage, his illness strikes again. The audience laughs awkwardly, but Sophie smiles, giving him courage. Arthur recovers and finishes his act, his first moment of genuine happiness. Later, Sophie calls the subway killer a hero of the poor. Her words lift Arthur's spirit even higher. But back home, he finds his mother passed out. After taking her to the hospital, he reads one of her letters to Thomas Wayne. In it, she claims Arthur is his son. Arthur visits Wayne Manor to find the truth, but the butler calls Penny delusional. Arthur attacks him in rage and flees. Later, his mother is hospitalized. 2 detectives question Arthur about his stand-up gun incident. He denies wrongdoing, but they doubt him. He enters the hospital to care for his mother. The poor can scream the truth, but no one will believe them. Then, his favorite comedy show plays on TV. Arthur hopes for praise, but the host mocks him instead. It crushes him. Meanwhile, the city descends into chaos. Protesters wear clown masks, rising against inequality. Arthur joins them, sneaks into a theater where Thomas Wayne is watching a film. He confronts Thomas in the bathroom, claims to be his son. But Thomas calls him adopted, says Penny was committed to an asylum. Arthur doesn't want money, he just wants a hug. Instead, he gets punched in the face. Back home, he hides in the fridge. The next day, he receives a call. The host of the comedy show wants him as a guest. Arthur is overjoyed, thinking his life is about to change. He visits the asylum and finds his mother's file. It reveals she was delusional and allowed her boyfriend to abuse young Arthur. He was even tied to a radiator and beaten. His uncontrollable laughter may have started from brain trauma. Arthur's world collapses. He laughs through his tears. In the rain, the clown walks alone, searching for Sophie. He sneaks into her apartment, but Sophie is shocked and terrified. She begs him not to hurt her. Arthur realizes the truth. They were never close. All those moments with her were just in his imagination. The next day, his mother passes away in the hospital. Arthur sits silently beside her body. Then, he suffocates her with a pillow. No more lies, no more illusions. The clown within him is now free. At home, he dances joyfully, painting his face with white and blue. He dyes his hair green. He's no longer Arthur Fleck, he is now Joker. That day, the two detectives return, but he flees across the streets and into a subway train packed with clown-masked protesters. In the chaos, a shot is fired. A riot breaks out. One of the detectives is badly injured. Joker escapes. That evening, he prepares for his big moment on live TV. His ex-coworkers visit to check on him. He suddenly stabs one of them to death with scissors. The other is terrified, but Joker lets him go. He had always been kind. Dressed in a bright red suit, Joker dances down the stairs, arms wide open. It's his rebirth. Police spot him. He runs, with the whole city watching. Eventually, they catch him and take him to the studio. Backstage, he rehearses his entrance and requests to be introduced as Joker. Then, he steps onto the stage. Everyone laughs, except Joker. He tells a few awkward jokes, but then his smile fades. He confesses to killing the men on the subway. The audience gasps in horror. He accuses society of ignoring the weak and mentally ill. He says, "What do you get when you cross a mentally ill loner with a society that abandons him and treats him like trash? You get what you deserve." And with that, he shoots the host on live television. Panic erupts. Joker is arrested, but the city is already on fire. Protesters flood the streets, cars burn, buildings are destroyed. One protester wearing a clown mask follows Thomas Wayne and his family into an alley and shoots them. Only little Bruce survives. Meanwhile, a group of rioters hijacks the police car transporting Joker. They crash it, pull him out, and lay him on the hood like a fallen messiah. He wakes up to a crowd of worshippers. He smears blood across his lips, forming a grotesque smile. They cheer. The clown has become a symbol. Later, Joker is seen in a white room inside Arkham Asylum. He laughs to himself. When asked what's so funny, he simply replies, "You wouldn't get it." Then he walks out, leaving bloody footprints behind.